Welcome everyone to this NPTEL online certification course on environmental chemistry and microbiology.
I am Dr. Anjali Pal from Civil Engineering Department, IIT Kharagpur, and I'll be teaching the first part of this course, that is environmental chemistry. And in this course, I will talk about the basic concepts of chemistry. I will tell you the details about it in the next few slides.
I'm Sudha Goyel from the Civil Engineering Department of IIT Kharagpur, and I will be covering the environmental microbiology part. This will be part 2 of this course. So, our basic course objective here is that any student who takes this course should be able to apply the basic principles from chemistry and microbiology for understanding and solving environmental problems.
As you know that for the environmental engineers, chemical engineers, biotechnology scientists, and geology, geophysics students, both UG and PG level, and the PhD students, basic chemistry knowledge is very important. So I will focus on the basic concepts of chemistry, and my course, during my course I will focus on 6 sections. The first section will deal with the basic concepts on acids, bases, and salts. The second one will deal with the chemical equilibrium. The third one will be discussing the chemical kinetics, and then I will talk about the nitrogen cycle, nitrogen chemistry, and finally the disinfection processes. And I will briefly discuss about the nuclear chemistry and radioactivity. All the courses will deal with the work, some problems, practical problems that will be involved in the process engineering, and all the problem solving skills will be developed if you go through this course. And I will be telling in next slide that what are the applications of this environmental chemistry course.
So, one of the other learning objectives for the students in this course related to environmental microbiology, they will need to understand major differences between various groups of microbes. So, these groups that we will be looking at include the bacteria, algae, protozoa, fungi, and viruses. We will also look at their metabolic pathways. Metabolic pathways are very important because that is the major goal for any organism to both survive and reproduce. Remember, these are the biological objectives for any organism, whether it's a microbe or a higher organism. So, understanding how they get their food, how they derive energy, and how they are able to survive and reproduce, these are important aspects for any organism, and it's very important for us to understand how they obtain their energy and so on. We will then understand and apply various methods and principles, both of growth as well as control. You're all aware of the fact that microbes are associated with various diseases, and they have a very strong impact on human health. We are right now living in the COVID-19 time period where we are all affected by coronavirus. So, growth, control of microbes, and their impact of human health, these are very important aspects of microbiology, and we will go through all of them. And then finally, we will come to some serious environmental problems. Environmental pollution is all around us. We have contaminated water, we have contaminated soil, we have solid and hazardous waste. So, once we know the microbial diversity and the different metabolic pathways that can be used for treating these contaminated parts of the environment, we can apply them, and we will go through certain applications of these methods of treatment and so on. So, Professor Anjali Pal will be talking about
Next
the
slide.
applications.
Okay. So you all know that the pollutants are the some chemical compounds, and they have the diverse structure, chemical structure, and depending on their structure, they have different types of properties, behaviors. Not only this, these properties will also depend on the matrix. So it is a matrix effect that will make them behaving different ways. So in this part, chemistry is very important. Basic knowledge of chemistry is essential for to deal with all the pollutant remediation. And second part, the analysis part, all the pollutants, you all know that determination is very important. This will also very much useful for the process engineers. And lastly, the assessment is also very important, and all the scientists who are dealing with the risk analysis and process engineering, they very much will be benefited with this course. I hope that you will like it and you will be benefited with this course.
So, in this slide, what I would like to introduce to you is the infinite number of applications that environmental microbiology has. And I would like to start with one of the biggest natural applications of microbiology. I think many of you are aware of the fact that we have macronutrients like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur. These are essential to all life forms. Without them, life cannot exist. And the recycling of these nutrients in the environment is controlled through these biogeochemical cycles. So that is one of the major aspects that we will be covering in this course. All the other applications are literally anthropogenic applications. So I will start with some applications in the sense of biofuel generation, biogas generation. This is coming mostly, biogas is generated from wastewater treatment, and I'll come back to this point later. So you have biofuels, you have biofertilizer, composting, something that is very familiar to most people. Biofertilizer and the pesticidal properties of certain natural compounds. All these are now becoming commercially viable technologies. Then we have organic synthesis, synthesis of organic compounds in the laboratory, and then we have pharmaceuticals. The biggest group of pharmaceuticals is antibiotics. They are also of microbial origin, and we will be covering some of these aspects. Then we come to preservation of food. When we think about preserving food, remember food is a highly biodegradable material. So if I want to preserve it, I have to be able to understand why and when microbes will grow in the food and how to control their growth. So preservation of food has not just commercial applications, but it's also a day-to-day understanding of how to improve the longevity of food. Then we come to dairy products and probiotics. The simplest example of a dairy product that we use on a daily basis is yogurt or curd. Some of us call it curd, some of us call it yogurt. You know that this is one of the simplest daily application of microbiology. We take a small inoculum of lactobacilli and we add it to milk, and over a small period of time, maybe 6 to 10 hours, you get properly solidified curd. And there are so many other applications of dairy products as well as probiotics, both again with daily applications as well as commercial applications. Then we come to baking and beverages. We've all eaten breads, cakes, pastries, all these kinds of baked materials. They depend on rising. That rising of the material, the food material, is because of the action of yeast. So that's also a microbe, and that's one of the biggest commercial as well as household application. All alcohols, all alcoholic beverages have their roots in microbial processes. So all of them are generated microbially. Then we come to water and wastewater treatment. In water treatment, you can eliminate all treatment processes, but you cannot eliminate disinfection. Disinfection is the most essential treatment process. And that is again to ensure that pathogenic microorganisms which are present in water are eliminated so that we are safe when we drink this water. So that is the major reason for including water treatment. And then we have wastewater treatment. You know that in secondary wastewater treatment, we use processes like activated sludge, trickling filters, rotating biological contactors, and so many other combinations of processes. This sludge is then taken to an anaerobic digester, and from that anaerobic digester, we get biofuels like biogas. So, that is another major application of microbiology. And to complete the idea about biofuels, we also now have biorefineries where oil from algal cells is now generated, and that's biofuel. So you have that, you have biodiesel, all these are possibilities that people are working on today. If you have a contaminated land area, whether it's soil, whether it's beach locations, whether the pollutant is oil or some other synthetic organic compound, you can use acclimated bacteria to remediate this area. So this is bioremediation, which is a huge area of both commercial again as well as R&D. So we have research and development activities going on in this area, and we also have a huge commercial potential for these areas. Another major area that has come into focus in the last few decades is e-waste management. We are now dealing with mountains of e-waste, and one of the things that we can do is bioleaching. So if I want to extract the very small amounts of metals that are present in e-waste, electronic waste, I can do that using bioleaching. The biggest advantage of microbial processes is that they are cheap and they are effective. Okay, so unlike chemical processes, they may or may not be competitive in terms of pricing. So bioleaching has been used for extracting precious metals, not just from electronic waste, but you can use it for raw mineral ore. It has been done for gold, it has been done for uranium, it has been done for copper, cobalt. Any number of applications and different metals exist in the literature. So we will perhaps spend some time on that. And then we have biodegradation of pollutants. Like I said, in bioremediation, you can deal with heavy metals, you can deal with synthetic organic compounds, natural organic matter, any pollutant that you're trying to remove or to transform. For heavy metals, it's a biotransformation process. For organic compounds, it's a biodegradation process. So all these things can be done once you understand the microbial principles behind it. We'll stop at this point. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.